definition, so we're going to get into it today. So, what I have for you today would be women empowerment may be defined in several ways, including accepting women's viewpoints or making an effort to seek them raising the status of women through education, awareness, literacy, and training.
As well, women empowerment can be defined to promoting women's sense of self-worth, their ability to determine their own choices, and their rights to influence social change for themselves and others. That is our definition of women empowerment. Or shall we say Google?
Some of it be my own writing.
Yeah, Google.
I got to give myself a whole lot of credit for the question.
Absolutely.
Because that's me every week.
Shout outs to you, and
Thank you, love. See, women empowerment.
All right. So there's 5 types of women empowerment: social, educational, economic, political, and psychological. Just to name a few. So let's talk about it. I mean, we're just gonna keep. This is a very live, transparent show. So I'm sure it's gonna be a twist tonight. So we know we got a panel full of ladies, one male guest. But let's see what these women's viewpoints are on empowerment. Let's make one. I can talk loud without a mic. So let's just talk. So okay, we know Seymour. You're the one male. So it is okay.
This is the hot seat over here, y'all.
So. We got you. Well, one of us may have his back, right? I don't know. They like, nah,
I think they got my back.
I don't know. Let's see. As she's gonna let flow, and the viewpoint I'm coming from is not gonna be on Google or in your psych class or any of that. So let's just get to it, Ashley.
Okay, so I would like for you to name a way you think another woman could empower one another.
One way I think that?
Yes.
Y'all can hear me? Okay. So, I'd say, the biggest thing is like what you have right here, supporting one another, acknowledging one another. I'm gonna end with this because I can get long with it. You can't be afraid to see another beautiful woman and be like, yo, she's beautiful, she's dope in her own way. But at the same time, you are too, right?
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, I see a lot of times with our sisters, man, where, a lot can do that, but then you have some that just hate on one another. So I think, come together, acknowledge one another, respect, that's the way right there.
that's lit. I like that.
That was a great answer. That was good, Seymour. So to left, Jay, what's your take on it? How you feel like women can empower one another?
I feel women can empower one another by stop projecting their own insecurities and trauma onto the next woman. Because with me, love and hate is the spectrum. Like, love is the high frequency and hate is the low frequency. So either way, you still love me. You know what I'm saying? People just don't know how to be themselves and be okay with being themselves standing next to the next person. Because I love pretty girls. And they used to like, do you think she's prettier than the next girl? I was like, no. I'm going to stand right next to her and be just as pretty.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? She's pretty in her way, and I'm pretty in my way. So I can't go there by myself. So I want to take pretty girls because we're going to get through the door first.
Absolutely.
What's your take on it?
Well, I love the way you put it. And
Thank you.
I love the way you put it. Acknowledgement and respect. Like, those two things, can take you a long way. So I do think that's.
See, we just all getting along. I love it. I love it. Right?
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. However, then let's take a journey down the rabbit hole to the real world. Okay? So
That turned up real
I'm
quick.
just saying. I'm gonna turn up clean, right? However, this is how things should coexist with one another. This is how things should coexist amongst our community. However, we know we see it every day that it doesn't. Us women recognize it doesn't exist, just as well as the men see it doesn't exist in our world. A lot of that takes place for a few reasons. Learned behavior, trial and error. We gotta put religion in it, or whatever your preference is when it comes to spirituality and or religion, because they're taught to do certain things certain ways in every different religion. And then you have traumas, past, present, childhood. You have your experiences. So all these experiences help kind of cultivate the women that we become, whether good, bad, or indifferent. It cultivates you in some manner. You know what I mean? In some facet, it's going to cultivate you. So what we have to do is take a look at the man in the mirror, in this instance, the women in the mirror, and say, what is it that I can do to become a better me? Because what happens is, if Tanya, if I'm not okay with who I am, where I am in my life, the things that's happened, and be able to accept what's happened and take it as a lesson and move from it, I can't sit next to either of these women and be okay. And that's why we encounter the things we encounter, where you don't know why another woman is feeling the way she's feeling about you. Where's this hatred and this envy coming from? It has nothing to do with you. It's within that person themselves. So if you're not happy with yourself, you can't absolutely be happy for nobody else. And what we miss when people are going, nothing's wrong with religion, nothing's wrong with any of these things. However, you have to take accountability for yourself and take time to learn yourself. Nobody else can tell you about you. We know these traits we have. The traits that we have as women, as black women, are horrible on all levels. So empowerment comes from us not empowering one another. Women empowerment comes from us thinking, we're getting into it now, that we're so in a place where we're so empowered and we're so independent that now we masculine. So all the masculinity that should be for the male is now transformed into the female, the empowered female. I'm so not women empowerment. I'm not. I'm pretty sure other women is like, what are you talking about? I'm not, for a multitude of reasons. And the biggest one is that. And then we wonder why women empowerment exists, so then that's why most of the black women, even if you are successful, are single. It's not because you ain't pretty. It ain't because you don't know who you are. It's not because, the opposite, the same sex, or any of these things. Is solely based on the masculine energy that we give off based upon empowerment. As, I say it in these here, Jay would say words have meaning. So you have to attach those words to the meaning. Empowerment is masculine. It's a masculine entity. So yeah, it's okay to say we can be great, amazing, upstanding women without being men. So they then took one out, and now we are just men. You know what I mean? And my saying is, my power comes in my submission to my mate. I don't have to be Bogart, my man, to know that I'm smart, I'm important, I'm loved, he loved. Like, you don't have to do those things. And this is why I am not so pro women empowerment. Am I pro women being independent, self-sufficient, productive? Absolutely. So what, you got your own house, your own car, your own job. You a grown adult. You should have these things. You should have them. However, that doesn't make you lose your position in the line of divine time. Like, it's the head, it's the male, it's the female, it's the children. That was a structure that was set up by European women, and now guess who's taking the spill of it? Unfortunately, we are. I'm gonna let somebody else talk. I know.
Okay, so I was going to go down the list of what another woman can do to empower another woman. But I would like to say I would be on both sides of the fence when it comes to women empowerment. Because yes, I do believe that a lot of women do not come together enough to give them that feminine energy with each other, to be women, to actually be able to come to each other and say, hey girl, like we did earlier, your nails is nice, don't be mad, like I might get worded, like I said, like you got to be able to come together no matter what. But outside of that, on the other side, as far as being too into like your masculine self, like yes, we have to tone that down a little bit. We have to tone it down and let them be who they gonna be, and we still stay in our place as a woman and still do it in a feminine way. Not so much as, oh, I gotta do it because nobody else is hurt. And that's where it gets misconstrued at. So I'm gonna go down the list of how another woman can empower each other, and then we'll take it from there. So one way would be an advocate for a woman, which we all know is like an advocate, be able to go talk to them, sit down, right way, wrong way, however you want to take it. Boost self-esteem. We don't have enough of that. A lot of women is putting each other down so much, they don't know how to be able to go to their friend, their sister, their cousin, their mama, their auntie, because it's just so much, well, you need to do it like this. I've been living this long, so let's do it that way and this way. No, I need you to give me them encouraging words, no matter if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Shut down negativity. Shut down all that negative talk that we have towards one another. Ain't no, I look better than her, she looks better than me, my car run better than hers, my house is bigger than hers. We don't care. One way or another, you all got the same shit going on. So once y'all get that through your head as women and come together, then we will be able to be presidents, congresswomen, legislators, women, all of that, and run like we supposed to. But if you can't get it together through your head, lead by example. We don't have enough women that's lead by example right now. At my age, at 31, you got the Cardi B's, the Megan Thee Stallions. None of that. Ain't no more tennis. None of that. Serena Williams. No, none of that. Ain't like that's what we missing. And then I have to go to the older women. I hang out with a lot of older women because that's where I get my example from. I've never really hung out with nobody my age because they can't teach me shit. I really rarely hang out with anybody my age. If I'm 31, I guarantee you they 35 and older if I'm kicking it with them, because they got that mentality of what a woman's supposed to do, how they supposed to move, what they supposed to look like, and that's what I want. I've always knew that as a kid, as a young girl. Becoming a mentor, supporting women-owned and ran businesses, being there for one another no matter what. I don't care if you know she do nails, she do hair, she sell real estate, I do credit. We all should be supporting one another no matter what. And if you know that word of mouth is everything. So if you know that you got the show and you got the hair and you got the houses, the property, and I got the credit, then we should all be able to come collective as one another and get that together and build multiple businesses on top of multiple businesses. But I'm going to let it keep on rolling. That concludes my title.
That was great answer. Go ahead, Teresa. Say that. I know you got it. Teresa J. Whichever one. What is your take on all this? So, on the 5 points as she spoke on just in general, what is your take on even what I said? So when we start talking about empowerment and those 5 attributes, because if you understand, remember those 5 stages, they never mention nothing about being a woman. None of these things mention really being a woman. So where do you stand with, okay, I know you're a strong woman, young woman, like amazing, and we all doing amazing things, right? However, in retrospect, with all of those things, where does that take you at mentally as a woman? Would it take you more so, you know what, yeah, I can see how this could turn me into a more masculine female, or I see how this couldn't, I wouldn't, like, what is your take on it?
I agree with the whole list. I think I live my life by that list. I could do better with communication, like I suck at texting, but, you know, I feel like every woman should go back that list. I know sometimes I can be more masculine in a way as far as being secluded to myself, like, and women are more, women want to be, you know, communicate. You know, you feel type of way if nobody communicates with you. You're like, did I do something wrong? Because as women, like, all eyes are always on us. People are always trying to talk to us. So it's just like, you know, like, we're just like, if you don't want to talk to me, like, what's wrong with you? You know, like, so I feel like that can be a masculine tendency that I have to work on.
Okay. True, the truth. How about you, Ms. J. Moore?
Everyone said so much. Y'all said everything is all perfect. However, I'm going to start with you saying the masculine and you Ashley using the list. Masculine energy is like a protection shield for me. I'm very masculine, and I'm masculine to men though. It's like a protection, but when it comes to women, I am vulnerable, and I want to speak to what Ashley said. Like earlier, we had a vulnerable moment. Like Ashley don't know us, and she shared some things with us, and I felt like she was my best friend. I was like, yes, girl, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because she was vulnerable.
I try to be like that all the time.
And women, we don't know how to be vulnerable with other women. So we put on that masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we got masculine energy with our man. So I want vulnerability. I want you to be okay with not being judged, because who am I to judge you? I can't judge you. I only can judge myself. And the moment that I start judging you, that's just me projecting my own whatever I got going on. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, I'm not with the woman empowerment, but I teach it. Because I can go out, and when I seen Ash, I was like, what I said to you? I said, ooh, she look good. You know what I'm saying? And she walked through the door, I was like, And it's just not jealous, it's just they look good. And people be so afraid to go with their first thought. Everybody's first thought is to love beauty, because it feels great. But if they don't know what feeling great feel like, and they so used to being low and feeling how they feel about themselves, and when they first see them, like, ugh, they're gonna find something wrong. And I don't understand that. I've never ever in my life been like that. I've never had sisters, a mom. I've never been around women. I've always been around men. So my time is almost up, y'all, but I've never been around women, you know, so that's why I'm all about bringing them together.
I mean, a lot of that's simple. Like you said, cliche, hurt people. And that's why I say you have to start with yourself first. Whether male, female, what have you have to start with yourself first. The reason why I can come off, I know I come off to people like, oh my God, like she just, like who is she? And she thinks she is that. I've dealt with that all the time. But they don't know is, what I went through has nothing to do with what you see when you see me. And as long as you is secure, you are super secure with yourself, your journey, and you understand your life, and you accept it, you can walk around with your head up. Who wants to walk around with their head down? Like, why? There's nothing you can find on the ground but lower things. What we looking for? Dirt, worms, what we doing? So of course it's all the way up. But us with empowerment, knowing that we talk about relationships, etc., a lot of this was a tricky way for us to start looking within ourselves, and for the women that's watching and, you know, and continue to watch, to see how these things work together when it comes to structuring a legacy and an empire, building a strong foundation. I am dead tomorrow about building families, foundations, and structures. Like these things I'm passionate about. So with women empowerment being or attempting to be a block for us women, unbeknownst to us, it sounds good. Let's go better. Let's burn bras and, you know, oh man, anything you can do, I can do better. I was raised in a household like that. Unbeknownst to my mom, in her mind, that was correct. However, all the women that were super strong, again, being independent, productive, self-sufficient, these are completely different things from being empowered. Meaning now, you know, you're taking the power and the strength that the man should be bringing home away from him, and you're trading places with him. So with that, we get what we get now, a big community of, you know, people not being able to match up based on experiences that the men done had with masculine women that feel empowered. They feel entitled. They feel like, you know, I make more money, or I do more, or, you know, this, that. So, hey, me and you are on the same level. It's never going to be on the same level. We're not. We never are. It's a double standard. It should be, and it's always gonna be a double standard if that's the term you're gonna use. For me, I would say divine order. I wouldn't say double standard. You know what I mean? It's divine order. Why do you want to be the man? You're not. If you want to be a man, wait till your next lifetime. And when you write it up there, say, hey, Creator, make me a man. You know what I mean? Right. And instead of Michelle. But what we have too much. We have so much female empowerment, not knowing that this is a generational structure. Like they want to break down the structure, as they've done a very great job.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, the question for you is, do you think masculinity rubs off in women who work in male-dominated industries?
Yes.
You say something? Okay, so I'm going to say no, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I have CDLs, 22 years, A+ certification, right? I drove cement trucks, I've drove duck trucks, I've built houses, I have automotive mechanic certificate, I've done every carpentry, drywall, almost every traditional heavy equipment machine operating. I'm that girl. However, differentiating the fact that I have these crafty abilities and me still being a woman is the same thing. Baby girl jumped out of them trucks, I was still fine. I got, you know what I mean? I jumped out, dudes was like, what the what? You know what I mean? They were like, your mama drive truck. My nails was just like this. My natural nails still. I did everything, and then when weekend came, I got, you know what I mean? I got cute. So it's all about the mentality. And you know how they say, we all have beasts, right? So it's what beasts are you feeding? So I could have fed the masculine beast. I could have. But I chose to understand that I'm feminine. I'm a woman, and I do want a man, and I want to keep a man. So I'm gonna have to do the things the women do, and keep that energy. So and men are afraid of that. They definitely afraid of you trying to be too masculine, as they should be.
But what about you being your true, authentic self? What if you do have a little masculinity to you?
I feel like if you have a little masculinity to you, that it's okay to embrace that, because I really be in both. I be in my feminine and my masculine.
But I still, have
and
to
it's because, one, I was raised by a strong woman before everything else. Two, I had my father too to show me, because I have no brothers. So sometimes you have no choice as a woman to be in both, because you are put in the position to have to do both. But are you going to be that woman to balance it out and know when to bring it out of you and when to keep it hidden? So that's the most important part of it all.
And yet, to answer that question, yes, all of us have divine masculine and divine feminine in us. We all. The universe does not operate without both. I mean, and we're not even going to get all the way back to it, because in the beginning we always morphodized for that reason. And I'm sure the more over in Seymour could hey, I can attest to that. However, that's why we have to learn, as you come here, you also learn to balance. So I definitely have masculinity in me. I have feminine in me. So do you. So all men have feminine in them. That's why you get a dude be like, oh, he's too feminine. However, that's the beast that he's feeding at that time, and he has to learn how to control the two and make them yin and yang and even them out. So we have a quote: she overcame everything that was meant to destroy her. So what is something that you guys have overcame as women?
I was about to say, I think I'm going to go
being a woman and not being taught by a woman, that's the hardest thing for me. And I have 2 daughters, so becoming a woman, not being taught by a woman, and teaching women is the hardest thing I overcame. But I'm doing it though. I definitely am raising queens, and I didn't have one, but I definitely seek out those ones that teach. So that's my hardest thing.
Okay.
So I always say this: my hardest thing to overcome was learning that I didn't love myself at one point in time, and now that I do, and I know my value, it's just that's the hardest thing I ever overcame, and just seeing how far away that is. I don't know. It makes me feel like I feel like self-love is like a womanhood that you have to go through.
Absolutely.
Yes, I definitely agree. I would definitely piggyback off of that because I lost myself for a long time, just transitioning from a teenager to a young adult, to the adolescent to a young adult to a full-grown woman. So for me to actually find out who Ashley was again, that's when I knew the woman in me, who she was. So I fight with that every day to make sure I do not lose that no more. Because that was painful. That was hurtful. That was a lesson that I do not want to learn again. So as long as I can stay strong within myself and know who I am within my own self, no matter what nobody say, how they look at me, what they perceive of me, I know who Ashley is or who Ashley's going to be. Right, very unapologetic. I don't care if you ask me a question, I say no. If you don't like it, you just don't damn like it. Because I'm going to speak my mind and I'm going to stay true to who I am. And it took me really until I turned 30. Light bulbs was going on. Like, it was like, ding, ding, 3 minutes, it's over, another light. I was like, okay, I hear you. So it was really that for me. Finding myself and losing myself and going into that black hole and coming back out.
Yeah, you women have some, young women have some amazing, these are testimonies, whether you know it or not. If that's our become testimonies. Some things that I've encountered, like something I've encountered, I think understanding that life is an experience and it's all about how you perceive the experiences that we all are going through. So once I understood that I had a higher self, a higher me, a higher calling, then everything that I've seen prior to that, whether growing up, good, bad, happy, traumatic, what have you, it looked completely different for me. So instead of me walking around trying to figure out why I was leaving the chorus I dealt and Lord, oh well, I kind of got through that, and how everything, I understand that everything that I've encountered in every walk, and they've been some traumatic ones, trust and believe me. If I was a mother at 14, you know my walk was like packing 10 crosses up hills and never seeing an ending, okay? However, now my mindset had changed. I did a paradigm shift, which helped me realize this is just an experience, Tanya. So either I'm going to reflect on the experience, whether past, present, or future. The past is gone, the future's not here, present's yet to come, and I'm going to see that like that way, or I'm going to enjoy my experience. My experience is exactly what I cultivate in my own mind. So my hardships now are not hardships. I don't tell people more like, oh, well, I did this, I was or yeah, I overcame this, I overcame that. It's just an experience, and I'm on for the ride. And if it's a ride I don't want to ride, guess what Tanya do? I change the daggone ride. I don't want a roller coaster. I want to get on the Ferris wheel. More. You know what I mean? So it's a little different now. The old me would have been up here like, hey, you know, I was a mama. You know, and I was on welfare, yeah, I had chatted, all of that. That's what made me, those experiences, what helped cultivate where I'm at now, because without those experiences, I wouldn't even be thinking about a higher me. Because you get stuck, you get complacent, you get in those places. But I've always known there was something in me that was like, nah, you can't stop. You can't stop. So I'm grateful for all my experiences at period. So let's do an acronym for women. We have W, wonderful mother. O, outstanding friend. M, marvelous daughters. A, adorable sisters. We got sisters up here. N, nicest gift to man from God. Yes. Do you all agree? And we have men in the audience, so we definitely want to hear what you guys, I gotta be speaking something. So who's gonna be, y'all, man, I ain't even gonna say who's gonna be man enough, because y'all definitely men enough. Who has a question for me? I didn't say that. I said I'm not gonna say it. The higher me knows better. I don't know about nobody else. These are all men. Everybody, all these are men in here. Which men, what question, because there's questions that you all have Either if it's a question from, you know, something you encounter from your parent, your mother, your sister, girlfriends, wives, cousins, something. There's questions that men always want to know about as women. And now here's your chance to get an honest answer.
I mean, I have a question about just like what you said just now. And I'm coming from here right now, you know what I mean? So I hear you talk about, like, you know, the higher self, but then, you know, at the very beginning of it, I hear you talk about that you're not for women's empowerment. And I feel like I get what you're saying, but here's also what I'm saying too, dealing with that metaphysics you're talking about. Ultimately, I don't mean to hit nobody's emotions. I'm just speaking facts, and like, you know, we can have a talk on the side, and I can walk you down timelines. But when you deal with like that cross, even like that ankh, right? That's taking you back to that woman. You know what I mean? We all come, like Pac said, we all came from a woman. Y'all are the not only biggest teachers that we have. Like, really, when it comes down to it, there's nothing that a man can do without you. You know what I mean? So, like, when it comes down to it, like, yes, it's all about women's empowerment. Like, I don't want to go too deep on the show because, like, you know, sometimes it'll throw people off, but, like, ultimately, y'all are it.
This is what we do.
Y'all are it. Y'all right here on this stage, y'all sisters, which come in multiple different shades, you know what I mean? That's what y'all do. Y'all have that Eve gene that can produce any seed, right? Am I lying, y'all? You know, ultimately, just like, you know, I guess that wasn't a question, it's just a reminder that, you know, y'all the most important thing, y'all are it, so of course, empower y'all. Matter of fact, I would argue in that case, we need y'all to have more power in that moment. I'm going to pass the mic back.
Yeah, pass Maisha. Maisha. We need Mike. Teresa, Mike, you can get it. And then we'll come back to that empowerment. Whatever you want to say.
All right, so my thing.
You got probably got to come back. Okay. Can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, my thing is that I understand exactly what you're saying. But at the end of the day, what came first? The chicken or the egg? Because for the woman to produce, they got to have what? A seed. So you can't just forget about us as men, all right? And there's something that I've been really taking more into consideration, but thinking more about, and that's the Newton's third law. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And that's life, period. So what I mean by that is, when you say empowerment as in masculinity, then that woman going to get that opposite but equal force, which is either no masculinity from the opposite or some feminine energy coming back. You know what I mean? So when you say empowerment, we have to be kind of careful with that word empowerment, how we use it, because sometimes we use empowerment as the tool to beat the next sex down, not the tool to help guide the next sex to the next level.
But see, that's the problem that our people have, because when we're dealing with, say, for example, these words, right?
Yeah.
We can build right now, brother.
Yeah.
I see that star on your chest. You know what I mean? We can build right now. You know what I mean? Peace. But if we're dealing with like empowerment, okay, even just in the sounds of the word, if we want to get down to etymology, right? Like, everybody knows that M, that mother, even that sound is actually a feminine vibration, if we want to be technical. So we can get into the metaphysics, like, and again, that's why I talk about, like, you know, that I implore everybody to have their own religion, you know, like where you stand as far as what you believe, what makes you know. But if we're going to talk about chronological orders of time, that Ankh comes first. And when it comes down to when you deal with that circle, that oval, which is dealing with that womb, as a more that fez that we wear, that goes 360, 720 degrees, that's dealing with the womb. When we go back in time as well, you have the matriarchies, not these patriotic systems. By saying, you know, empowering women, that's what we as men got to get better at. Because we get too quick to try to be like, oh no, we gotta have control. And yeah, we don't have our control. We are the protectors. We are the force. But we can't forget the woman is the law.
I dig you on that. Okay, so now we're talking about timeline and Moors. What about timeline of Christianity? The man was the first one, and then Eve came to him, right? So if we want to talk about that, we can go a whole lot of different ways with that may not be approval to what one believes on the stage. So we got to be careful with that part too, all right? And so as far as, don't get me wrong, like when I say empowerment, that doesn't mean be just being a stress type thing. A woman, like I said, as an adult, there are certain things you have to do to be independent. And sometimes we want to get credit for being independent. I'm a father of 4. When I go pick my kids up from daycare, or I go to my doctor's office with my kids, guess what they say? You a good dad. No, I am a responsible parent. I don't need a pat on the chest what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So when you say empowered and strong, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna give you a task. Check this out. Think about it first. When we say the definition of strong, give me one thing that describes a strong person, man or woman, that's not a responsibility.
Strong?
Tell me one thing that we say is a strong man or a strong woman that's not defined by that person having a responsibility and taking care of it.
I'm not sure I get your question, brother.
Yeah.
Because like ultimately, again, it just comes down to the mind. And again, I don't think you're getting where I'm coming from, bro. Like when I say the empowerment thing, bro, I'm not saying that in all. I'm a man too.
I feel on that.
I'm a father of 2 girls.
I'm with you on that.
You know what I mean? At the same time, I put a lot of years into studying like our ancient sciences, and again, there's so much history. Like, say for example, since we want to really take it there, I'll give y'all a piece. All people get stuck on like Black History Month, right? We forget who actually started that. Carter G. Woodson with Negro Week. They don't talk about that. I use that example to give you this. While they're only giving you these last 400 years of history about our people, the reason why they do that is there's so much more that they cut off and took from you. And in that time, you also have where you have, going back to what I'm talking about, the woman. Again, I say that's not taking away from us as men, but we really forget how important they are. And again, I'm not going to put my brothers who are under that square and everything out there, but when it comes down to it, they know mothers and sons, first mothers and then sons. A son can only be a son. They say a woman, what we call our daughters, cannot even really be daughters, because ultimately one day they're still going to be mothers. There's a lot that goes into what I just said, but all of it, there's no way around. And again, I want to deal with religion. There's no way around that the woman is the most important, especially the melanated woman. It's the most important being on this planet.
All right, so I'm going to take it there. What I feel is this right here. This is just my feeling. I feel like an asshole. Everybody got one. But I think that once you start to say what's most important, now you're cutting out balance. And we know that everything that's healed have balance. So now once you started saying this is more than more, now that's what you're doing. Now you handicap on one side to say, hey, it's okay for you to not succeed, because guess what? This is more. It's okay if you not. It's creating balance. We got to, and that's the thing that we're doing now in this time. We're trying to take away the balance from the homes. We're trying to take away balance from the schools. We're trying to take away balance from each other. So to me, and this just mine. I'm not going religion, because things have changed so much from religion to the point where it's just a story of history that you can either raise your house by. You just got to raise your house by those standards you believe is your religion. All right. So what I'm saying is the yin and yang, what you spoke highly of, that you agree with the yin and yang. So how can you have the yin and yang that don't have balance? If one is I'm just something. Because when she said yin and yang, I saw you be like, yes. So now, if we're going to stick with that same ideology that yin and yang is the best thing to have, how are you going to say that one is more important than the other when it takes for this man to do an act to fertilize this woman that creates the balance? So I think that's where we getting so lost that in the world.
What
We're
about
trying to
the
see who is
Amazonian women?
important.
So
Most important
I
is black
think
people.
so. We know. So we can go. I mean, we can go.
No, you
This-
good.
this-
That's fine.
this is
That was
exactly-
good.
And there's no. And this is the crazy thing, women, men. Neither one of these men are incorrect.
Right.
Neither one of us are incorrect. This is where, again, when we're talking about balance, there's a lot of things that go into what Seymour is saying and what Jericho is saying from two different aspects. We got back going through religion and things. I'm gonna challenge everybody that's really interested in this topic and interested in what the gentleman is talking about. I'm gonna challenge you to get a book, and it's called The Other Bible, right? The Other Bible. This is gonna hit spirituality, religion, metaphysics, etymology, psychology. It's very, very, very deep. Books about that thick. But remind you, we lack. The reason we lack is not because we're slow. As Aboriginals, which is a whole nother situation because I'm not African. As Aboriginals, we're so above where we're at now. Our level of thinking is so above even where we know now. What's missing is the knowledge, because clearly we know who's taking on knowledge. That's why it says, study and show thyself approved. Know thyself. I understand the dialect with them, not that y'all don't, because these are things that in my spare time I study. What he's saying is women are super important. Women are hella important. I'm not saying we not. I know it. We know without us, we can't cultivate or populate this whole earth. However, because of balance, I understand what Jericho's saying. Without the man, how do we populate, procreate, and balance? How do we do that? There's no one without the other. So I say for me and the women that I am cultivating, the younger women, the women on this panel, the women watching is, we have to understand and be very careful when we're using that. I use the title, I think, for the story, Beyonce's Independent Woman and all that, and then Little Boosie's them, that I use the independent for a reason, because that's what today's women are focusing empowerment on. They're not looking at empowerment from a higher ascension, a spiritual level. They're not looking at it from my man is I'm equal to him, but I'm sure they're not looking at it from that. They're looking at it from the aspect that society is placed in front of us. So actually, when you look around, they merge women empowerment with, okay, it's okay to show your body. It's okay to be half naked. It's okay. That's what the version of woman empowerment is for our sisters. However, we all could, I'm pretty sure, we can put on some nice skimpy stuff and be like, girl, you look good. But however, covered up, I'm the freaking bomb as well. You know what I mean? But we have to understand the difference in the trickery. In the spirit world, they have, you have spirits, and they call jinns. There's some jinns that you'll ask for something, they'll give it to you. Hey, I want a lot of money. Well, I want Bubba Jinn, I want a lot of money. You'll get that money, but guess what? You just lost the auntie. That's how you inherited, because now you done just curse her. There's things like that. We have to understand the difference of what society is putting on us. I am with women being knowledgeable of themselves. I'm with women understanding that you have to be responsible for yourself and take accountability for yourself, cultivate yourself, learn what's really going on yourself. That alone would be a form of empowerment without it being empowerment. You know what I mean? Because what they're doing is trying to separate us from you all, just like we did. We don't have it's a separation game, because I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force with another black man. You understand that? And what women are not getting is, you can't do this shit by yourself. It look good, it sound good. You're gonna work harder, you're gonna do more, I have long hours. Busy, like, I be tired, I be like, man, where my man at? I want to be cooking, I want to be cleaning, I want to be doing other things. We have no business cultivating the land. You cultivate the land, you bring home the product, we get it prepared, and in turn, and we should be peaceable. How are we going to give y'all peace when we tired and frustrated ourselves? There's no balance. There's absolutely no balance.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth at the end. Well, we have another quote. Do women run the world?
Men.
What do you think?
All the Beyonce fans will be like, yeah.
Are we talking about like physically who has power? I mean, let's be real.
Just who's running.
You have a patriotic system that deals with masculinity itself. But when it comes down to it, if you really think about it, even as much as we try to play all macho, like, you know what I mean? Women still run this motherfucker, man. Hey, I don't know if y'all ever had like a woman that y'all live with, bro. Like, but for real. Man, she mad and she not gonna give you none. Man, listen. Boy, y'all make us do about whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm gonna yell on that. Y'all know what I'm saying, though.
Not depriving the man that's taking the baby.
Right, I was about to say.
Those are them empowerment women.
Right.
They come be like, bend over, you gotta be like, dang,
Right.
I gotta bend over. You can't, huh?
I said, what's the definition of run?
Run, I don't know, man. The definition, I think
That's a
should be
question,
maybe rule the world.
Rule,
Maybe
yeah.
I would say.
I mean, they both would
it's the same.
go in same, like one, yeah, they would both go.
Basically
in-
As
said
far
that-
as the world going around,
But-
do y'all feel like women run the world?
I was about to say, I can say as a woman run the world in their own way. Because, like you said, we have to bring balance. So it's only so much a woman can do without a man in order for it to. Go ahead.
You gotta get the camera.
When you say run the world, we got to first start with, let's say for example, there was nothing on the world built. There was nothing built. You had to run this motherfucker. There's nothing built. There's no cars, no buildings, no hospitals, no nothing. So now, can the women keep the world going? Or do the women run the world? That's a big difference because think about it. What percentage of the women doing the job that it takes to actually build the infrastructure for the world? We're talking about, I'm talking percentage of the dangerous jobs.
It's women that do male jobs.
I didn't say any. I say the percentage. I say any. If there's a higher percentage in women help nurture the world of health, nursing, doctors, caretakers, is it a higher percentage of women doing that or men?
I feel like women.
No, we talk about the higher percentage. I'm talking about the higher
I
percentage.
feel like women. I feel like
we're-
there's a lot of women that's
Can I
nurses,
say
and
Because
caregivers.
hold on a second. Because when we say run the world,
But
again,
without
there's a team
Eve,
effort.
then how would it be women or anything? So
Exactly, there's a team effort because guess
He
what?
needed her.
Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks in the world. But if he didn't have no offensive line, somebody to catch the ball, he's like the most suckiest quarterback in the world.
What?
But
Say
still,
that.
key word. You don't want to say that. You say it behind. Please say
all men ain't
beside.
successful.
There you go. Thank you. Now you people behind. Okay. So my thing is. So my thing, again, my point was that same thing. It's a team thing. It's not an individual thing. And like I said, we say these cliches to create separation. We say these cliches to create separation, and the more we adapt to these cliches, the more separation we have, the more broken relationships and broken friendships we have.
Like women empowerment, the separation. Actually,
I feel like.
thank you for that. Management did a great job. You need the mic? Speak. What was
No,
the
I
question?
just feel like without women, a lot of stuff wouldn't be going on in life or the world. And there's more women than men, so without women, a lot of stuff will fall apart because women really do bring things together and stuff like.
Real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, I see.
From this time, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, give us a quick rundown of like some of the shit that you were saying just a little bit ago about what you did, these trucks and cranes and all that type of shit that was. They can do this shit, do what they believe what they.
That's not what I said.
No. But hold on. But I got you. Because you important, brother.
Came from a man.
We important too. I'm not gonna away from that. But they can do that stuff too. At the end of the day, we the ones that end up getting up, going out to actually do it. Take care of the babies. Like, for real, it should motivate any man in here if he has children and a family to get up and go and bring that back to his woman, right? Am I lying? I mean, it's about that balance still, bro. I'm with you.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. Like, That's why I said I felt like yes, because as a woman, we can balance out both in us with our feminine and our masculine. So yes, if we was left here to run, I do believe that we will be able to do it. Because we can think like a man if we needed to, and think like a woman and do everything a woman needed if we needed to. I'm not saying nothing like as far as body parts. I'm talking mentally. I'm talking about just like what he said. My mom, I watched her do the truck, CDL. She even taught me how to gut out kitchens and everything. I know how to put starters on my cars and all of that, just like a man can. So if we was left here as a woman, I do believe that we wouldn't have a problem with running things that's going on. Not only can we do that, we gonna take care of the kids and still cook the food too, and clean the house. So I don't think it's a bad thing that if a woman was left in charge, because you're gonna get the overall thing, just like you would if it was a man. But don't leave us out just because we have different body parts or different chromosomes.
Can I say something? I just want to say, was that for me? Okay, I just want to say, I think you said earlier that I'm big on words. You know, there was a time that I study words. So people, first of all, people have to study the definition of words before they start using words as a weapon against other people. Like, yeah, we understand what masculine is. Yeah, we understand what feminine is. But both of you guys were right. If you remove all the words, because in the beginning, no one knew no words. All they knew was energy. So it's like you said, it's a balance. Masculine and femininity is just a balance. We do need men and we need women. We need both. It's light and dark. It's yin and yang. It's whatever definition, boy, girl, woman, man, whatever you want to use, they're all the same. It's the energy, you know, and we can't survive without the other.
So this is, and that's a good
balance.
one. So this is where, okay, so this is exactly, this dialogue is amazing. I'm loving it because now we all individually get to see exactly what I was saying in the beginning, why the division exists. Because if we're able to do this on a regular basis, men will have a better understanding of our psyche. We will have a better understanding of theirs. Like, to put us in a position to feel like that we supersede the men, yes, we can do all the things you guys can do to an extent. My mom used to say to me, you know, I always know anything a man can do, you can do better. Well, that worked for a while until I actually got a real man. And it was like, okay, so who wearing the pants here? Me? You? What? You know what I mean? And had I not caught on to that and understood and looked back and said, okay, I can see that all my strong aunts, all the strong women on my mom's side, none of them are married. They have children, they mothers, etc. None of these women were married. None of them were married. However, I go to my dad's side, and there's two-person households. My aunts were meek. They were long-toned. They did what they needed to do, and my uncles took damn good care of them. And now their children are living that same type of life. So what I had to do was make a decision. Okay, so am I going to be this rah-rah chick because I can fix cars, because I can drive trucks, because I can do this and I can do that? I'll play the damsel in distress any day. Any day. Because at the end of the day, that's what the beast I should be feeding more of. Now, when my man say, baby, what we doing? We got this, you need any help, baby? You got it? Okay, well, let me go make you some lemonade. Like, where those times came from. Those times are gone because now we're so busy trying to prove who we are. Let's think about the chessboard. You got the longest analogy. You have the king and the queen, right? You have the knights, the rooks, the pawns, the towers, the bishop, everybody to protect the kingdom. However, the only piece on the board that can do anything they need to do is the queen. Now, understand this. The queen is never, when you play chess or somebody mentioned chess, what's the first thing come up? The king. All everybody think about is the king, right? Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, because that's his kingdom. However, the relationship that the king and queen have that nobody thinks about or look at is the king understands, without this queen next to me, the right queen, either I keep and grow my kingdom or it's completely wiped away by the opponent, because she's the only one that can defend him. She's the only one can move however she needs to, do whatever she needs to do to make sure she protect too. The whole purpose is protect the king. Without the queen on the board, because they go for her. Nobody's going for the king in the beginning. People think they are. They're going for the queen. Once you get the queen, it's not when the king is going to checkmate or if, it's when. So when we understand, this is where balance comes from, and then you understand together, one can't be placed on the board and run a kingdom separately. However, in the minds of society, they want us to think we can do it separately. The first thing they did was separate us. Let me separate the man from the wife, the women from the kids, any way to break us in any order they could. This is another form of breaking us and causing what Draco was saying, that break, just like let's separate it. By us thinking one is more superior than the other. Men do have more superiority if we're going down a chart, like a totem pole. However, an intelligent man is going to understand the power of his woman and vice versa. Again, my power comes from my submission to my mate. I don't have to be rah-rah. All I have to do is be the woman. And I'm going to get what I want. Your man, a smart man, is going to do that. So we don't have to be trying to figure out who's more macho, who wear the pants. Man, you wear the pants. I'm wearing the dress, you wear the pants. You know what I mean? I'm the receiver. I'm not the giver. Females, we receivers. And they have us too busy thinking. That's why strap-ons are kind of pretty popular, I don't know why, but like, we're not receivers. And it's okay. I'm okay with being a woman. We have to be okay with being women. However, we're intelligent women. We're powerful women, we're strong women, we're loving women, we're feminine women, and we need men. Any woman come to me talking about, I don't need a man. Me and her are going to have some problems. I don't have no problem having no problems. Because that's just ridiculous. It's unbalanced. We have no balance without that. We just don't.
You know what I think the problem is? I'm probably about to hurt some feelings, but it's facts. You know, y'all know that y'all need us, right? I'm a strike a nerve. I know.
Jason, I don't think she disagrees.
I said some women don't know. I said some women don't think.
Yeah, a lot of women these days.
But hold
don't
on,
think
when we look at like media today, right? Like, a lot of our men don't really realize how much we really need y'all. If you listen to like the music, if you listen to like the message, like when you see these people on TV, in our community, you know what I mean? Like, the B word and stuff like that is used way too common, just and fun towards all women. The most, again, I don't mean to strike no nerves, but the most supreme being on this planet, though. None of us would be here without. In this room, on this planet, period. None of us would be here without. You know, we forget that. I'm a pastor. I can remember. My bad. I just had to add it, though.
What? You good? You good? You're absolutely good. And thank you for that message, because we see, and I feel like all the men feel exactly what you're saying, where you're coming from, but then as the man's got to say, you know, listen, hey, don't forget about us, and this is why we're here.
I'm a man
like
too.
now. Yeah, you're a man, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, and this is good dialogue. But I know, like,
I'm just saying.
I knew you was gonna go in. I know you got some more to say. Okay, we have a comment in the back. Larry, come over here. We can't hear you. Bro. King, we can't hear you. Hey, y'all, give him a hand. Thank you for coming up. What's happening?
Man, listen. Yeah, this show is really good. I came because I seen TikTok, you know what I'm saying? You know, us men, we date women. Women, y'all date us, right? You know, I had, you know, man, I dated, you know what I'm saying, different women in my life or whatever, and I've seen women with this masculine energy. I'm an alpha male. It's hard to deal with a woman who has all this masculine energy. I'm masculine myself. So sometimes I gotta kind of turn my masculine down to keep her happy.
Completely unbalanced.
It makes me feel like, you know what? All right, it's whatever. to keep from all that arguing and, you know what I'm saying? She can't even recognize her masculinity. She can't even see it.
Can't see
And
it.
then when you try to explain it to her, it's like, I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. You got my masculinity. Then it hurts her feelings. When you really get into it and really breaks it down what it really is. And it's just like, man, you're trying to keep your lady happy. So it's hard on us.
Right,
I'm gonna say it was hard on me.
Right. Lord on y'all.
Trying to keep her happy.
And you,
With this masculine energy.
it's a lot, and that's why, again, why we're dealing with the empowerment part of it, and saying why I said earlier, Seymour, like us taking women. People don't understand. Again, you have to study. Thank you for that, Larry, that comments. When you're saying you have to study what you're putting into your mind and yourself. Like again, like anything, one thing we have a problem doing is when one person on board, 10 people on board, we all on board. Hey, women empowerment, yeah, men on me in the bed, women are this, da, 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 da. We have to, again, know thyself. And the reason she didn't understand her masculinity is because that's a learning taught behavior. However, at some point, she needs to take accountability to understand I'm unbalanced. Like, this is my man ain't, like, we energy. Like they said, we all know energy. Energy-wise, we understand when things are off. You're going to feel that it's off. So for us women that are strong but also want husbands, because that's what I want to do. I want to go to weddings. I'm looking for one myself. Like I need to see people together. Like let's stay together, let's get together. But we so divided because we're not understanding, first of all, ourselves and then one another. So we have to start figuring out where we at in our time, in our space, in our reality. And then once you heal those things, then we can come together and you should attract another person that's healed or another person that y'all can heal together. I mean, so I understand and I get it. Like, and let's just be real. The same thing you're dealing with, because you men have encountered a lot of women with masculine energy, then you get a woman that does handle her business and have things together, like myself and the women over here, and then we gotta fight tooth and nail to be like, hold on, like, listen, I'm not her. You know what I mean? But the first thing you see, the brain's job is self-preservation. The first time you see another strong woman, or another woman that looks like she might be a little, y'all running, or you gonna be there and it's gonna be for a quick time. It's like, yeah, I ain't dealing with this. So we get a part of that flack too. It's difficult, very difficult for us to deal with having to retrain y'all minds because of the experiences that y'all had with the wrong people and the women.
Yeah, something real quick. I'm sorry, Ashley. I just gotta say something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. With me in my relationships, I like to remove gender roles. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you're strong at, I'm weak. Wherever you're weak at, I'm strong. If he don't take out the trash, but he take the kids to school every morning, I may take out the trash. Right. It's a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just agreeing with that's just me.
That's the same way.
He may take out the trash, but there's gonna be some days he forget, and then you gonna be like, so you ain't take out the trash?
Right.
No, I'm gonna take out the trash for him. He don't take the kids to school every day, and I didn't. That's just me. You know what I'm saying?
And I was about to say that comes in before we do our closing statement. It comes with the last statement that we made. With the definition is the fact that women empowerment started with them in the workforce and being able to have equal opportunity to be able to do what a man should do, not what we're talking about right here today, being able to come together as women. So this is what they literally have for the definition of the importance of women empowerment. Will be women taking part of economic life and ensures participation of them in the workforce, and at which one of the main requirements of sustainable growth and development, and always the achieving point of being able to be in the workforce. So it never was about being a woman. It was about having equal opportunity with the men and be able to do what they do. That's not what we try to get to. We actually try to get to the point of you, and me, and Maisha and Naja and Raven, everybody come together as women, actually empowering one another to bring them up on a different stepping stone as women within ourselves. It has nothing to do with what they can do. It's all about what we can do as women and how we can grow more and more within ourselves. So, and I'm gonna let Ms. La'Tanya go ahead with the closing statement, and if anybody else don't have anything outside of that.
What is it? And again, this is what dialogue is about. This is why we all different, why we have our different perspectives, our different experiences. Because I feel like everything, when it comes to empowerment, just like anything else, this is a full 360. One thing is just gonna run into the other. So if you're walking around because of women empowerment in the workforce, is why it's spilled over into our personal lives. Nobody knows how to differentiate the two. It's just been spilled over to everything, every aspect of the black woman's lives, and now we the bad guys. The closing statement: women are strong. I love myself and being a woman. So and the saying that we love our men. Like, absolutely. I'm sure every woman on this panel can agree. Like, y'all, very imperative piece in our lives. Like, I don't even know how a woman can function. I mean, like, the very essence, especially a black man, but I'm just saying, the very essence of that man is like unexplainable. There's no words. Like, I know y'all get a lot of flack. I know y'all get these bad situations, bad relationships, etc. But when you with the right person and she understands how imperative you are to her life, in turn, you're gonna do the same thing. This is where the balance comes in. And once you are both understand each other and where y'all stand with each other, like, that's an amazing thing. So we can just get past what society's trying to trick us with. Well, let's separate from the men, let's separate from the women, and all, you know, she for the streets, he for the streets, this and that. Like, this is all foolishness. It really is. You can't say that. Your producer's watching. Listen.
I mean, my talk shows is different. We on the 3D. This was the 5D.
Yeah, you
You know what I'm
it.
saying? So I just want to say we definitely spoke on it tonight. You know, I had nothing to say because y'all was teaching and we were learning. You know, so I thank you for inviting us. You know, I would like to come in.
Absolutely.
And it's balanced with me. You know what I'm saying? You attract what you are. If you love yourself 50%, you're going to attract someone that loves you 50%. If you love yourself a million, whatever, 1,000%, you're going to have someone with you that love you. That's just however you feel about you is what you attract.
Right. That's a good statement. Don't lose who you are. Stay sufficient. I like self-sufficient. I don't like empowerment. Stay self-sufficient. Stay productive. Stay loving, and understand that your experience in the past is not your future experience or your present experiences. Let's treat one another with love from the gate accordingly. Like, you know, no matter what triggers it is or whatever. And when you start again with the man in the mirror, a lot of these things are going to be mitigated anyway. You're not going to come with foolishness. Because so we're going to come up maybe next week with, you know, people being in relationships and not really ready to be in relationships. It's just like with yourself. You can use, a lot of us use money and empowerment, and I'm a woman and I'm strong and I have my own this, and that, because of inside self insecurities. So it never has nothing to do with us. So remember, don't let nobody else project that on you. And with that being said, listen, it was great. It was amazing. We thank everyone for coming out to the Two-Edged Sword every Tuesday. And we have $2 drinks. They actually $2.99 per the owner tonight. I am her tacos, $2.99. You know what I mean? Every Tuesday, I want to thank the Battleship Lounge also for allowing us to have this venue and grow it, because I'm gonna grow it. You believe that? We growing. We gonna be cracking in here on a Tuesday. But we thank you guys. We thank everyone. Thank you, Seymour. It was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for the music, y'all. They try to get up for Seymour. Thank all the guests. Thank you, Rico, for your time. I knew that was gonna burn you up, though. Sinner. Thank you, Nigel, Brandon, Larry, coming over. It's your birthday, hey y'all, hold up y'all. We gotta sing happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. I gotta do them like the kids, look. May God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday
Oh, gospel song. Let's keep going.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Right, your girl has to do the Marilyn Monroe version. Right, my man. Again, thank you guys.
We are there next Tuesday. Every Tuesday, come and see us. Bring a friend. Word of mouth is everything.
Yay, the flyers better be out there. Put it in, look, right.